Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into O'Neill's Grill here on University Boulevard, a very short distance from the JMU campus, for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon with JMU football coach Everett Withers. The Dukes coming off their 7th consecutive victory to start the season and their first shutout since 2008. On Saturday, they went down to Elon, North Carolina for the first time in the program's history and came away with a 51-0 shutout of the Phoenix. The Dukes improved to 7-0 and to 4-0 in the Colonial Athletic Association. We're joined now by the Dukes head coach, Everett Withers, as he has his opening statement about, personnel and the team's players of the week. Coach.
Thanks, Kurt. First of all, let's talk a little bit about injuries in the ball game Saturday. Dom Richards, our starting center, had a little bit of a AC sprain. He should be fine. We expect him to be back. We held him out of practice yesterday, but don't expect any lingering issues. I think Dom will be fine. Marcel Johnson, starting safety for us, had a hyperextended elbow. He was fine yesterday. He's going to be probable for the game, but we held him out of yesterday's practice. Those are the only two injuries that we had occur during the ball game. We think we'll be fine with those. No issues there. Player of the game awards offensively. Guy had look at his numbers here. 165 yards rushing, grade out 94% on 34 plays, 17 carries at a 9.7 yard per carry average. 105 yards after contact. Carden Johnson, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, guy had 2 tackles, an assist, a tackle for a loss, 2 interceptions. Really played at a high level Saturday. Taylor Reynolds. And another defensive back, special teams player of the week, is starting to play really well both on special teams and defensively for us. Had a couple down punts inside the 10-yard line. Really played well on special teams for us is Jordan Brown. So those are our award winners. Those are our injuries, and off we go.
All right, Coach, thank you. Elon with a 2-4 record at the time, very little offensive threat, could have been an easy opponent to overlook for many, particularly with the game coming up this weekend. It's homecoming, of course, and the University of Richmond coming here, a rival game. Coach, as you have looked for the edge, evaluate the focus of the Dukes as you prepared for last week's ball game.
Well, Kurt, to be honest with you, I think it's disrespectful to say that about Elon. Ask Townsend when they play Elon. Ask Delaware when they play Rhode Island. I think any team in this league can beat anybody. So if you don't get yourself prepared each week going on the road, especially playing somebody for homecoming, you're asking for issues. So hats off to our coaches and our players for staying the course with our culture, our foundation, and our system, our plan to win each week to prepare for each game.
As a defensive coach and the head coach of a team that generates a lot of attention with its offense, how gratifying was it for the defensive staff and you as an old defensive coach to come up with a shutout last Saturday?
Well, it's always gratifying. The old adage, if they don't score, they can't win, really goes into play. So that's kind of the mindset each week. Each week you love to shut your opponent out. Our kids did a great job of preparation last week. They do a great job every week, I truly believe. And I think, we had, 3 4th down stops this past week. Our kids did a great job, and again, the coaches put together a great plan for our players to succeed. And hats off to our defensive players who are deservingly getting better each week. There's a lot more young guys on that defensive side of the ball than it is on offense. So congratulations to the guys and both the staff and the players for their preparation.
In a couple of other media opportunities since Saturday's game, you've mentioned the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. So as we go into week number 8, Coach, can you tell us, give us a little bit about the strengths of each of those units and areas that you feel like you have the largest margin for improvement?
Well, I think offensively, we just want to continue to grow in what we do. We've got some players on offense that we want to, try to find a way to get more touches with the ball, and I think that's important for us offensively to continue to do that. We want to continue on offense to get better in the red zone. We were really good. I think we scored on 5 of our first 6 possessions last week. We'd like to continue to be better once we get in plus territory. Instead of kicking field goals, scoring touchdowns on offense. We want to eliminate some of the penalties that we're having. The penalties have been, if we don't stop ourselves at the beginning of drives, we have scored points. When we stop ourselves at the beginning of drives, we either don't score points or we kick field goals. So we have to do a better job of not giving ourselves a long field or self-inflicted wounds early in drives. Defensively, I think just to continue the growth of the emphasis of stopping the run. I think Steve Cisa and the defensive staff have really made that an emphasis. I get a chance to sit in on a lot of those meetings, and I know that's a big-time emphasis on where we need to fit in the run game. I know Gage Steele's here today. He'll be able to tell you a little bit more about the emphasis that we have with everybody being in the right spot. Now, the other team's got really good players too, so they're going to make some plays. So what we have to understand is we've got kids that are really in tune to trying to do their job and do it at a high level. So just continue to grow on defense, on special teams. Obviously, we're playing a lot of young guys on special teams, a lot of young guys. So getting those guys experience. We've got some guys that we travel in our 65 that I challenge each week to get on more than 2 special teams. So we got a couple guys that we got to up their number of special teams that they're on so they can help us for the long haul and the journey down the road. But continue to grow depth on our special teams so we can roll a bunch of guys so we can play at a high level is really important.
All right, Coach, we start to turn the corner and go into this next ball game. Of course, a lot of the chat about Game Day, ESPN College GameDay coming here. And certainly, as you mentioned earlier, why wouldn't any team want to have this kind of challenge and opportunity, of course. But as you have been at Ohio State, what from that experience, what from your experiences in D1 and even from the NFL have you taken and that you will apply with your team this week during what is certainly a big week for the fans of the JMU Nation and for FCS football?
Really, Kurt, to be honest with you, we're going to do the same things we do every week. We've put a system in place, and again, I think Gage will be able to tell you this. We put a system in place. Really, every game we play is a big game. We don't talk about an opponent one way or the other. Every game's a big game to us, and so I think this is really exciting for our fans, our alums, everybody coming back to homecoming. I think it's really exciting. I think it's really exciting for CAA football. Thanks to Lee Fitting for helping us. But I will tell you this, Kurt, Game Day don't come here if they don't have 2 really good teams. So heads off to our players and our coaches for both schools. If that school we're playing this week isn't very good, they ain't coming. So we can give all the credit to a lot of people. We better be giving it to the 2 teams that are playing in this game because that's why they're coming. They're not coming for any other reason. So, again, hats off to our team, hats off to our opponent. And it should be an exciting game. Everybody ought to have a butt in the seat and see the game.
All right, Coach, we'll turn over to other members of the media, and we do appreciate those folks coming back here this week as we continue with our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon with JMU head football coach Everett Withers here at O'Neill's Grill in Harrisonburg. Gentlemen.
Coach, hello, 1, 2. Coach, you were pretty honest with us a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was before the SMU game, about how you felt about home games. And while the benefits of Game Day are very obvious for the program, do you see Game Day as a bit of a distraction at all, especially for the younger players who, they love the extra exposure?
I don't think there's any extra exposure for young players. I think if you guys have ever been around Game Day, it's about the students, the fans, and the community. It has nothing to do with the teams. The teams are real good, and that's what brings Game Day. We're going to do exactly what we do. I think we've got a plan to win. I think we've got a culture in place. We're still every day trying to instill it and work it, but I don't expect any. I'm really proud of the way our football team has handled the first 7 weeks of the season. We're going to handle week 8 the exact same way.
You mentioned at CAA Media Day that you felt that the CAA is kind of like the SEC of FCS football at Week 8 now. Do you still feel that way? And from what you've seen so far in this season, why do you still feel that way?
I think it's the premier conference in FCS football. From top to bottom, I think there's every team has a chance to win. I just got off watching film of Rhode Island and our opponent this week, and Rhode Island had a very good chance to win the game. So, again, I think you better bring your A game every week in this league. So there are no weeks off in the SEC, and I don't think there's any weeks off in CAA football.
Coach, good afternoon. I'm just curious, you said obviously your team focuses every game the same, and that doesn't change this week. But, there you go. Sorry about that. You had mentioned it's good for the fans and the community and the university. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that and just the excitement that you expect to see, and will your team feed off that at all?
I don't know how much I'll see it. I'll be preparing for a game, so I think it's good for the fans. That never have experienced a game day. I'm sure they'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, whenever, and do their deal. And I think it's good for the community. Our president has talked an awful lot about athletics being the front porch of the university. Our front porch better be nice and clean and tidy for Saturday, because there are a lot of people going to get a chance to see it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing goes. And I know our fans will do a good job. I know our student body will do a good job. This is a chance for our JMU community to show off JMU. We talk about being a national brand. Well, here you go, boys. You're welcome. Here you go.
Is that a good indication of how far this program has come in the short time you've been here?
Well, we got a long way to go. You'd like to be in the talk of having game day a lot of times because you're playing good football on a consistent level with good kids that want to graduate. And to me, that's where I hope we're headed, where we recruit good kids. They get degrees from JMU, they graduate, but while they're here, they really play at a high level when they play football here.
And then Richmond, every game's the same to you guys, I realize, but Richmond's 6-1, good team. What do you notice from them when you watch them on film that you guys are going to have to stop, and what challenges do they present?
Well, our opponent's got a couple very good running backs, very talented, good offensive line. They do a nice job on defense of doing what they do. They don't beat themselves. Very good in the kicking game. So we're going to have to play a high level of football to go win the football game because, we're playing a very talented opponent.
Coach, talk about your younger players. You were able to get some guys in the game in the second half. Evaluate kind of what you saw, some guys who've not played as much this year.
Well, we were able to get Brian Shore a few more snaps in the game, and I thought Brian did a good job of running the offense. We got some of our young offensive linemen in the game. And I thought did a good job. Taylor Woods and Trey Sharp were able to get in the game, and obviously Trey's first carry was a big one for him. He caught a lot of grief on the sideline for falling down before he scored, so he can't live that one down. But it was good to get some of those guys in the game. We got some young DBs in the game. Some of the guys that play a lot of special teams for us. But I thought the young guys did a really good job. It's really neat to see our young guys go in the game and play. Our older guys really, really cheer for them and pull for them and get really excited when they get a chance to go in the game. And that's kind of neat. That's one of the reasons I like this football team is these guys really care about each other.
You had some guys on the roster from North Carolina. Trey Sharp in particular scored his first touchdown. But how fulfilling was it for you as a coach to see kids as a homecoming for them, so to speak, and to play well?
Well, you want to be able to put those guys in the game, and they're going to have family at the game. They're going to have moms and dads, aunts and uncles, grandma, grandpa at the game. So it's obviously good to get those guys in the game, let them play. Marcel Johnson had an interception in the game, so it's good to get, for him to have success in the game. It's always good to get guys that are from the area, if you can, in the ball game, and so they can have an opportunity to play before their family and friends.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Jonathan Klisterman's progress? He made his first touchdown catch.
Yeah, Clue has been playing really well for us, doing a better job of blocking each week, and he's another one of those guys. We'd like to be able to get into a little bit more what we call 12 personnel with him and Dean in the game at the same time, and John allows us to do that because his high level of play, his preparation each week is really good. He works extremely hard. He's one of our guys. He's our captain of our punt team. He's done an unbelievable job for a guy that was a walk-on here a year ago that we just put on scholarship. And we have a lot of trust in John. He's continuing to get better, catching the ball and running routes. But we're really excited about John's progression.
And you mentioned about Carden's yardage after contact. What makes him so tough to kind of bring down? And
Well, I think Carden is just a tough inside runner. I mean, he's we made the statement Sunday during our staff meeting about Carden is one of those guys that goes until you have to pull him off the field. He goes, and good that we've got a number of backs that we can put in the game because he'll go till he drops, and he's gonna try to get every inch out of a carry, and that's really neat to see about a guy that really cares about the football team. So he's just a tough inside runner, and again, here's a guy that set out all last year with a Achilles injury to come back and play at a high level like he's playing.
Coach, we got two high-powered offensives this weekend, both team averaging over 40 points. Are you expecting kind of an offensive shootout, or do you expect defenses to step up a bit?
Well, I'm hoping our defense steps up and plays well. I'm hoping we win the game, but the bottom line is that we have one more point than they do.
And going back when you arrived at JMU before last season, did you ever expect the kind of exposure the program's gotten this season with SportsCenter featuring VAD and then now with GameDay?
Yeah, I did.
Anything more from the media? We're done? Okay. Coach, thank you very much.
right.
In just a moment, we will have Gage Steele step up here, and we'll have a chat with the Duke's redshirt junior linebacker. Thank you, Coach. Once again, game time this Saturday is set for 3:30, and the College GameDay show is from 9 a.m. until noon. 9 until noon for the College GameDay, and the gates will open at Bridgeport Stadium an hour and a half before the kickoff. Let's welcome in now one of the redshirt juniors for the Dukes from Front Royal, Virginia. Warren County Wildcat he was, and that's Gage Steele, one of the linebackers for the Dukes. Leads the Dukes this year with 65 tackles and is among the CAA leaders in tackles as well. And Gage, similar question that I asked Coach Withers there, and the fact that the Dukes defense, it has its first shutout during your career. In fact, you got to go back a couple of generations. And when you get late in a ball game like that, and you're certainly leading the game, you know you're going to come away with the victory late in the third, early in the fourth. To stand there and get a shutout, what did that mean for you and your teammates there on the defensive side of the ball?
Shutouts are a big thing. That's something that the defense loves to see is the goose egg up on the board. But as a defense, we strive to stop them every time we go out there. Get 3 and outs, or just stop them on the drive and make sure that they don't score any points. So that's a big thing that we look forward to doing, and it's something we want to execute.
When you see the offense going out there and putting up the big numbers that it is every week, Coach Withers talks about how you guys like each other. How does the defense like the offense? Gives you a little room there to work with, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Our offense does a great job with what they do. Obviously, they march down the field, and they're pretty much unstoppable. But as a defense, we sit there and support them as much as we can. It's amazing to see what they do, and as a defense, that gives us momentum when we go out there. It gives us a little oomph, to stop the other, team's offense. So, it's a real nice combo that we have, and we appreciate them, with all that they do.
When Coach talks about fitting the run, and I think we see you fit the gaps pretty well on occasion, fitting the run. What does he mean for the general public? What does he mean by that statement?
Fitting the run, is like Coach said, it's something that we focus on every week. It's basically our main objective is to stop and run. And what comes with that is just, making sure everybody's in the right place. When we're running, a certain play or, they come out in a certain formation, we just got to make sure everybody's, on the same page. People are fitting in the right gaps, coming down to the right side. It's everybody, working, as one, and making sure everybody's in the right place.
Very good. Let's go a little bit more on into the depth of who Gage Steele is. Tell us a little bit about your background and then how you came to James Madison and maybe the journey that you've been on here with the Dukes of JMU.
Yeah, started football at the age of 10. It was something new at the time. Something that actually my brother got me into. So went out there and started out with Pee Wee. That was fun. Obviously, going out and hitting people, that was the funnest part. As growing up, I started getting playing on offense and both on defense. Kept the linebacker position, which was something that I always liked. And growing up, my first year of high school, we used to come up here to the JMU football camps, the team camps. So starting off from a young age, in high school, JMU was something that I became very familiar with. I came here every year, ever since my freshman year to my senior year. Got to know the coaching staff really well at the time. Got to know, the environment around here, and it's something that I liked, that I fell in love with. I just fell in love with this place. And then, as opportunities came, JMU was interested, and something coming from a small town is something that you want to strive for. Everybody's dream. So ended up coming to JMU, and I've just been working hard, trying to do everything that I can, to provide for the team. So
This year has been obviously a little different for you than it was last year. Last year, the preseason injury put you behind a bit. This year, after going through that, any more or greater feel of this particular season for you when you look back at what happened a year ago?
Yeah, definitely. Last year, it was definitely hard. With that injury, like you said, it did set me back. And it's only humbled me and helped me out, with this year. I've been working out, trying to, make my body as healthy as it can be so I don't get injured and all that, types of preparing. But, it opens my view, on this year. And, I just look to do everything that I can for the team, things that I can improve, things that I can work on, as a team and off the field and on the field. So it's an overall, big thing that opened my eyes to a bunch of different things.
As we meet people from other members of the media that come in to cover a particular ball game, or we go on the road to away contest, and we talk with folks there, they love the name Gage Steele. They think it is perfect for the college football game. You and I have had this conversation before, but for the benefit of others, the name Gage was something you weren't too keen about at first, but it's kind of grown on you.
Yeah, at first, I didn't like my name, just growing up, hear little jokes here and there, just with the name Gage and stuff like that. But as I grew up, got more mature and stuff like that, it started catching on a little bit. And I can definitely thank my parents for giving me the name that I have. So I give the hats off to them. So.
Well, I think you've stuck your Gage brand on a number of opponents throughout the year, so keep that up for us if you would, please.
Yes, sir.
Let's now open it up to other members of the media here at O'Neill's Grill.
Gage, this game is pretty much a virtual sellout. How excited are you to be able to compete in that atmosphere? Obviously, an in-state rival and homecoming, all that.
It's awesome. It's good for this team. It's good for this community. It's good for JMU all around. It's a big thing, but like Coach mentioned earlier, we're gonna prepare the same as we have every other week. It's nice to have College GameDay here, all the fans being sold out, and but we just gotta focus on us. Not let this stuff distract us, and we're just gonna prepare the same that we have every other week.
Yeah, Coach mentioned sticking to the game plan and blocking out the noise. As the noise is getting louder about you guys. I mean, what do you guys do to stick to that game plan? Do you guys just stay off the social media at all? Do you guys just keep each other in check?
Yeah, that's something that we focus on. We don't need to be involved in all that stuff. We need to focus on us, our next opponent, and just making sure we're focused on our objective, and that's to win the game that's coming up this weekend.
Does that Check. There you go. Does that enthusiasm rub off a little bit on you guys, though? I mean, when you're walking around campus, there's a big buzz. Everyone's excited. I mean, does that pump you guys up a little bit?
Oh, definitely pumps us up. It's nice to see all the students, coming together and talking to us and stuff like that. But that's again where I say we got to keep a level head. We got to stay focused on what we need to do, and it is nice to see all that stuff. So.
What does the rivalry with Richmond mean to you guys? You guys focus on every game the same, I realize, but when they're coming in here and they're going to have a good season, you guys are undefeated. I mean, that's everybody's dream to play in games like that. What does this rivalry mean to you guys?
That's a hard one. I'm just gonna say it's our next opponent. It is our rival, yes, but we're gonna come out in every game, doing the same thing, sticking to the same plan. What we've been doing for the past 7 weeks, has worked, and we're just going to keep on doing it now. So, that's what we prepared to do. We're just going to see what they do play-wise, and then, go off of that. So.
And then I certainly don't mean to beat the elephant in the room to death here, but obviously with game day coming, not so much for you guys, individually, but for the program. Is a good indication of how far it's come in Coach Withers' short time here?
Oh, definitely. Like Coach said earlier, game day comes to, where good teams are playing. We got two of the best teams, playing. I mean, it's something that it's real nice to have, but like I said, we're gonna keep on doing the same things. It's good for the community, like I said. JMU coming together. It's awesome to see all the student sections sold out, and the tickets selling as quick as they are. It's definitely a good thing. So.
And then lastly, what's Richmond do that you notice on film that you guys are gonna have to contain this weekend?
Actually, that you asked, our day right now, Monday, is to watch film on our next opponent. So I can't exactly tell you much on that, but from the little bit that I have, they got two good running backs. They stick to doing what they do best, and they execute it well. They don't beat themselves up. They're disciplined. And I'll know more after today after watching film. So.
Gage, talk about how your off-season workouts in January, February, and of course then through spring ball, how that's helped you now that you're in season, because you played some very physical teams. How has that prepared you both physically and mentally?
Coach AB Aaron Burkhardt does an awesome job at our strength and conditioning. Definitely getting us in there, grinding out, getting as strong as we can, fast, So that all comes into the later parts of the season right now. It's something that we look forward to doing every year, something that we all strive to do and be the best that we can be. But it definitely does help, with the later part of the season, and it's something that's paying off.
We've heard some opposing coaches and defensive coordinators say that defensively you continue to give different looks, things they haven't seen. How much input do you have when you go to the sideline during the game? Hey, I'm noticing this, coach. Maybe we should dial this up.
Right. That's definitely a big thing. The communication on the sideline. We're always going to get something new every week. That's just how the game goes. And then we're going to see things that we have practiced before. It's just we all need to communicate, with our unit, with our whole defensive squad. It's something that is important to give information, back and forth. That way we can make mid-time adjustments or, during the game adjustments in order to, perform well in the game.
Gage, obviously having a good year this year. What's been the biggest key for you, do you think?
Just working hard. When I say work hard, it's a very broad term. Working hard, both in the weight room, off the field, on the field, as a team, watching film, just being cohesive with each other. That's the whole defense. We watch film with the line, watch film with the back end and stuff like that. And it's just making sure we're all clicking on one. And that's what I mean by when we say we're working hard. So.
And Richmond obviously has a high-powered offense. You kind of like that challenge of going up against an offense like that?
It is definitely a great challenge. Our next opponent is definitely disciplined in what they do. Like I said, they got good running backs. They got good wide receiver group. They got a whole as a whole offense. They're very good. But it is a challenge, and it's something that we want to step up to, and we like that kind of stuff. So.
What's going on, man? Do you guys watch game day as players? Do you guys, when you're on the road or anything, you guys watch it?
Yeah, we see it all the time. It's something that's basically in our lives every day. Watching ESPN and stuff like that with game day. But it's definitely nice to see it coming here. You know, it's a surreal feeling. So it is nice.
Do you have any game day moments? Do you remember any funny things they've done on the show?
Anything
come to mind? Anything?
Everybody knows the signs get crazier and crazier every week. That's a nice thing to see and laugh about. You know, them picking who they think is going to win. You know, just the whole environment pretty much is like it's a good thing to watch, and it's a good thing to see coming to our town. So
How did you find out you guys were getting it?
I actually woke up Sunday morning with a whole bunch of notifications from my phone. I was actually trying to sleep in, and my phone was just going off the hook. And I seen a bunch of stuff on my phone about College GameDay coming. And then my roommate Taylor Reynolds comes in the room screaming, you know, waking me up. And you know, it was a pretty cool feeling. So.
What was kind of the vibe on the team yesterday? I know you had practice. What was it? A little more uplifting, I guess, yesterday. A little more buzz.
Everybody was definitely excited. You know, it's exciting for our whole team. You know, it's something that, you know, all of us, you know, think about, like, oh, what if game day could come here? You know, it's something that we all think about. So, you know, the team was definitely, you know, excited, and it's nice to see. So, good.
All right, Gage, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Gage Steele, linebacker for the Dukes of JMU. Good luck this weekend against your next opponent.
Appreciate it. Yeah.